These are 10 SoloQ setups on 10 different maps with 10 different operators to instantly upgrade your R6 game. We're going to be going in order from worst to best, starting with number 10, which is this Thorn setup on Emerald Plains. This setup is for the admin and CEO bomb site, where we'll be using Thorn to lock down the green stairs in this green hallway. Starting off with our first Thorn trap right here on the green stairs, along with some barbed wire to slow them down while they're pushing through. That way they have to look up at the Thorn trap while they're slowed in the barb. They have to make sure they shoot it or break the barb first. And it's mainly just an audio cue for us to actually play off of. It's not to actually get kills, that one. It's more just to cover our back because we're going to be playing in this hallway. The big star of the show is this Thorn trap on the lamp, because people don't usually look up while they're droning. You can put it on the lamp like that. You can even put it kind of back more like this. But the thing is, people don't look up when they're droning. So they're going to come in, they're going to be looking like this, and it's going to activate this Thorn trap. Plus, there's going to be a little bit of barbed wire on this side for them to run into if they're trying to run from it. Now, we could also put our other Thorn trap here just to feed them even more towards this barbed wire, or we could just save that for later. We could even put it for this main breach walk-in, which is another good one. Reinforce this wall, and then we're pretty much set up. We're just playing from these stairs. We're playing this top green area. We can contest the site. Hopefully, your teammates make a rotate, and then if they rotate to the other side, we can just go contest them from here. This one's definitely weaker on the list, but it's a fun setup. Getting kills with this Thorn trap is very satisfying, and the best part is it works against good players when most of the time Thorn doesn't. Anyways, that's setup number 10. Let's move on to setup number 9. Before we get to this alibi hold on the master bomb site for Oregon, I just wanted to thank you all for 300,000 subscribers. That is an insane amount of people, and I appreciate you guys so much. That's part of the reason why we're making this video today, is because one of my first videos actually do well was this exact style of video where I'm going through SoloQ defense setups. So here's a little update version of that for you, and now let's get into this alibi setup for number 9. First thing you're going to want to do here is make a rotate between the sites. You always want to make these rotates just because they just give you pathways into other areas to hold. Yes, it technically does work for the attackers as well, but it's going to give you more flexibility on your defense to actually hold the areas that you need to hold, because these are more powerful positions. Now, I would recommend reinforcing both these walls. Some people open this. Either way, you can do the setup, so just go with whatever your team wants. If your team doesn't say anything, I would recommend just reinforcing both for this setup. And then what you're going to be doing is putting an alibi on this attic hop over, along with some observation blockers so that they can't drone it out. Now, the observation blockers are very important, because what they're doing is making it so they can't actually drone this Prisma until they shoot the observation blocker or drive the drones through. And because you're going to be playing here, you're able to shoot the drones before they actually see the Prisma. Then what happens is, once they breach this attic wall, which you'll also reinforce, they're going to shoot the Prisma. Once they shoot the Prisma, they're going to hide back in cover so that they don't get killed while they're being pinged. And then you can replace the Prisma with yourself, become that Prisma, and then they think you're a Prisma, and then you kill them when they actually push in. So it's a somewhat advanced strategy. It does require a lot of things to happen, but it works really well. And if that doesn't work, and they don't decide to push there, then you still have this Prisma for big window, which from the outside, you're not able to actually shoot the feet. So you have to use an explosive, or they have to actually get on the rappel upside down to shoot it. But most people aren't going to do that, because most people are silly beans. If you ever see a frost mat here, an alibi prism here, absolutely get on that upside down rappel to break it. I wouldn't make a rotate here, just like some footholds, and then maybe a rotate over here. You can kind of do the rest of the setup however you want. I would put my last prisma here with an observation blocker in front of it as well. Just if they do come this white hall, they're going to see it before they can drone it, and again, they might shoot it the same way. Last one is going to go right here for that trophy drone area, and the reinforcements, you know, that's up to you. You can I would reinforce this off. You can let your team do the reinforcements. You can reinforce whatever's extra left over. Don't get too invested in the reinforcements. The biggest thing is getting these prisms down and getting the observation blockers so that you can use that for your playmaking, and also having the rotates to be able to get around where you need. The reinforcements, they're secondary to that, but of course they are very helpful. Moving on to number 8. At number 8, we have a very experimental Cade strategy that I kind of came up with in a weird way, and I'm not sure if it actually works because I haven't used it yet, but I think it works. Like, in theory it works, and it seems like a lot of fun, so I'm going to show you it, and if you want to use it, great. If you don't, absolutely fine. But we're going to talk about some of the quirks and flaws, but also some of the reasons why it might be really good. The biggest thing here is we're not bringing the C4 on Cade, we're actually bringing the barbed wire, which I know sounds insane, but it works, I think. It works for a lot of other sites, so why wouldn't it for this site, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to reinforce these 2 main walls. That's step number 1. Now that that's done, we're going to put our Cade claws right beside the wall, but low enough to the ground that it will get the barbed wire, which we are also going to put outside. So these K claws are invincible to Cali, I believe. I'm not sure if the left one is, but this right one definitely is. So if they Cali the wall, it won't actually break the K claw. And I would also recommend you ban Thatcher for this strategy if you can. And if they're being Cali, well, chances are they're pretty bad anyway. So you're going to run outside. You're going to put your barbed wire down out on the balcony. So what this is going to do is actually electrify the barbed wire. So now, if they're coming in with the breacher or coming in with whatever to get the wall, they have to actually walk up to this barbed wire and punch it. It's going to shock them. They're going to squeal. It's not going to feel good. And at the same time, you have this rotate, which I'd actually make... I would actually turn this into a full-on standing rotate. And this is going to allow you to sprint out and pre-fire them on the balcony and absolutely shred them apart with the TCSG. So if you have a team that you know is probably going to come to this balcony, this is the #1 game plan. It's so sick. And at the same time, you can actually stand in this rotate if they don't come to the balcony without being spotted from outside, and you can see when they actually cross the room. So you can see if they cross into terrace, and then you can pre-fire them on this side. So that's another cool thing. And if they don't peek you as well, you have the cover of the bar, which is very, very strong on the site. Biggest thing is if they hop in the window and get into sight, this is kind of a risky spot for you, so careful for that. But yeah, this is a sick strategy, and I've tried it out a couple times. It has worked a couple times in like casual matches, but I haven't actually got the opportunity to try it in ranked because I forgot about it, and now it's back. So try it out. Let me know how it goes. At number 7, we're busting out the newest operator, Skopos, for a Kanal CCTV defense. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, right when we spawn in, not reinforce anything because that's basically the operator Skopos is. It takes a while to set up her bots where you want them. We're going to go to Skybridge and shoot this hole in the floor under the window. Because when people come to Skybridge, they usually drone through here, they drone up, they check the corner, and they're not looking for holes under the window. So you're going to send your one bot down, shoot any drones that might be on these vending machines, in this drone hole, maybe on yellow stairs, and then you're going to come into gym. This is where you're going to play, and you're able to hold that Skybridge hopping from here because so many people hop in through this window, and the chances are they will miss drone the holes and you will probably get a kill. With your other bot though, you are going to go top green with it. This camera is going to be very useful for your teammates on site. Not only that, but it's a safe spot to teleport back to when you need to come back to site. So you can hold this Skybridge window for so long, and then when you need to, if your teammate's getting messed up on site or whatever, you can teleport back to this one. Because on Kanal, there's only 2 ways back to site from the opposite side. That's why Skopos is really good on this map, is because you can only come Old Bridge or New Bridge, and sprinting across the entire map, the odds are somebody might be down here, somebody could be like playing yellow side, and it takes a long time to get back through yellow side with all the windows over here. So coming up here, you might get shot through this window, you might have someone repelling this window, you might even have someone still baiting on the Skybridge window. So just being able to teleport back to site instantly and be able to make those plays is very, very helpful. It's also very helpful for your team because a lot of time they're flooding in through these windows, and then you're there all of a sudden to take the other people out, even though they probably just droned it and saw that you were just a fake bot that isn't there. And there you go. You got plays, you got playmaking, and this is one that's worked exceptionally well for me multiple times. So this one is a solid one for sure. And remember, guys, as a champion professional Rainbow Six player myself, reinforcements is not your #1 priority. It is a very useful thing and something you need most of the time, but I think reinforcements are overhyped a lot of time. I think you can win without reinforcing anything. I do believe that. However, they are going to help, but they're not as important as positioning and utility placement. So get those reinforcements, but don't freak out if you don't have them. At number 6, we have a CCTV frost strategy for you. This one I am an absolute lover of. The frost mats on here work so well, so often, and this is where they go. We're going to put one on top red. This one, because when they're coming up red stairs, they're usually fighting like this. They're ADS. They're not looking at the mat. They're probably looking over here. They're going to walk into it. They're going to die. You're going to make a rotate into sight here. Very important. Reinforce the middle wall. You can make some holes like here to like stand on green box and watch the breach. This is very nice. Reinforce the con wall and the outer con wall. You're going to make some head holes rafter. This is all default reinforcements and holes. If you're not making these already, you probably should. You're going to reinforce all 4 bottom garage walls if you have the time. If not, it's not the end of the world yet again. This Frostmat top garage with the bulletproof camera is absolutely elite. This is the best part of the strategy. If you're only going to put one mat, if you only have time to put one mat, do this mat. Because what you can do is you can EMP the drones with the BP. They're going to be looking up at the BP, knowing the BP's there. And then they're going to go melee it, and they're going to hit the frost mat. Now, I could have even backed this up a little more. Either that, or they're going to be coming up rafters, looking into sight, snap their legs, dead. Exactly. That's the meat and potatoes of the strategy. That's the best part. For your last frost mat, you could either put it server window, or you could do it on the con window hop in. And then pretty much good to go from there. I would recommend playing in rafters, as it's the most like power position of this site, and losing rafters control pretty much means you lose the round. So playing in rafters allows you to be the guy responsible for whether you win or lose a round, and that's kind of the trick to SoloQ. If you think you're better than everyone else and you always get bad teammates, don't let your teammates affect you. Be the guy that holds the things that are the most important. That way you have the opportunity to put yourself in a position to win. So that's number 6. Let's move on to number 5. For number 5, we're heading over to Border for one of my favorite operators to SoloQ in the entire game, one of the strongest operators of SoloQ in the entire game, and that is Fenrir. He's also just one of the strongest operators in the entire game. You could play Fenrir on literally any of these maps, and he would be so good on any site. If you just want one operator to SoloQ with, just get really good with Fenrir, because these mines are so lethal and so strong. So what you're going to do here, reinforce the 2 armory walls, and then blah, 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 blah. You're going to put a Fenrir for the archives walk-in. Now, this will also kind of get the window hop in if they hop in and move left, but you do have to be careful because they could come a little deeper. Now, you could put it like something like this, but then it's going to be, yeah, that's a little better. That way it will catch the window for sure. You're going to activate this one. That's going to get them if they walk in. You can take your bailiff and make some holes for the walk-in for the default plant. That way they just can't plant there if you have one guy underneath. You're going to do all the default setup, open the hatch, make the footholds, reinforce this wall. Reinforcements, again, kind of do whatever you want, whatever your team wants, but the biggest thing about this is the Fenrir on the light outside, because what's going to happen is you're going to be playing by this door. If they nade you, run away. If they flashbang you, run away. But the biggest thing is, if they don't do any of that, you know, you're standing here, maybe they don't have this wall. If they have this wall open, probably don't swing outside. But if they don't and they haven't taken CC, say your teammates are playing it, they walk up this balcony, they're not going to know this Fenrir is here. So what they're going to do, they're going to be like this, they're going to walk up, they're going to be fully blind, they're going to turn to run away. And then as they're doing that, you're going to see it goes off. You're going to go 1, boom, bah! You give them literally 1 second and then swing that door. Now, careful, they could be pushed up real close. If they're pushed up real close, they will mess you up. So make sure you're listening for where they actually go to after they hit that mine, because they will be fully blind. You could even sprint all the way outside and free fire them, take them out. They might be in this corner, but it is a very powerful Fenrir, basically just because they don't know it's there and they're caught off in the middle of the open. That's what makes Fenrir so good, is catching people off in the middle of the open. For your last 2 Fenrirs, you could do one for metal if you're worried about the metal walk up, just for early round, right? You could take this one off, move it to metal for early round, and then your last one you could put for CC if you have any teammates playing in there. Again, for early round, you could have the armory balcony one off, put that there, or you could move this metal one to armory balk and then just play here to hold metal off the start, and when you realize nothing's coming, there's no rush, then you can switch back over to the balcony and then hold this door. So Fenrir, very strong operator, very useful. I love this guy. Lastly, we need to put our bulletproof camera somewhere. I sometimes I've been doing this. Oh, wait, we're not done. You also need to open this wall. Yeah, you need to be able to see archives. That's important as well. You do got to be careful because they can get this long angle from the balcony all the way to the back of armory, especially if the glass or the Cali or whatever. So just be careful when you're coming back. Just stick to the right so you're not getting clapped in the middle of the open as well. Bulletproof camera, it doesn't matter. Put that wherever you want, whatever you feel, whatever you think you need info on. You can put it here. You know, you can put it for like archives. You can put it in the corner of archives on the ground. They might not even see that. You can put it for office, east stairs, 90 hall, basically wherever your team needs it, wherever your team's playing. Use it to help them. Hop on the cams early, give them some call outs. Very strong strategy. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is an Azami setup on top floor of Cafe. This is an elite setup. This is one of the easiest ways to hold this bomb site as a SoloQ player. You can use either gun. I'd recommend using the shotgun just because you can get the default rotate holes that are very important, and you can also get the important head holes at the same time, foot holes, whatever it may be. So it's honestly just the optimal gun in my opinion, but I know that some people really like the other one. Now you can use your impacts for the rotates if you don't have this gun. You know, you can just quickly impact the rotate holes, which is going to be useful for your team, and then reinforce the walls. Another rotate here if you have, you know, the shotgun obviously. Because yeah, you don't need the impacts for this. But the biggest thing about this setup is the keep of barriers. Naturally, we're playing Azami. First things first, we're gonna throw one in shop on the corner of this shelf. What is this? A cabinet? It's a cabinet. That's the word. Reinforce the red walls. These are the 2 reinforcements that are most important for you holding this. So those are the 2 walls that you absolutely want to get for sure. But if you don't, again, it's not the end of the world. So Next thing you want to do is throw a Kiba on the bottom of this chair, right above the leg, just like that, and that'll make a nice little pixel angle underneath the desk. So now you can see this again. Now, your next one, the next ones are pretty important, not as important. It really depends if they're playing these repels. By this point, by the time you get your third Kiba, you'll kind of know where they're at, if they're playing these repels or not. If they are, you can throw one right here just to block your side, which is very good, and then you can kind of peek off of it if you need to or want to. But it really just allows you to continue holding this. This just allows you to hold shop so aggressively and so nastily. And if you want to do it even better, you throw another one attached to this, and now you're definitely gonna wreck them, because when they're coming in here, you're seeing their legs. They can't see you. They cannot see that shelf as they peek in here. They are completely blind, unless they're prone peeking it. And if that's the case, they're so slow, you're gonna still slam them. You just have the advantage time after time again. For your last Kiba, or the last Kiba spot that you might use, it's just on the edge of this cocktail bar, which blocks off that ticket window. So if they're on that ticket window repel, they're really seeing literally nothing. They cannot contest anything from here. You're free to move around still, and this is really just one of the most lethal Azami setups in the entire game, in my opinion. Weak spots on this are skylight hop-in, which is why opening this wall like this might be good, because if you know they're on the skylight and that they might hop in, you're still safe behind your Kibas to watch the drop, and the white stairs. So they could technically walk, like completely own you on white stairs or do a cocktail take. But this does hard counter pretty much the entire red hatch, new hatch drop, which so many people are just defaulting to 90% of the time in these ranked games. So very nice. Let's move on to number 3. Now, I know I could be going much more in depth with these strategies. However, the biggest thing to take away from each one is the one thing that signifies why it is so strong. For example, on the Azami one, it's that one-way angle into cigar shop where so many people feed through that is just going to surmount to just free kills time after time again. Or on that ClubHouse one, it's that frost mat and rafters that everyone is going to hit the second they try to take rafters. That one is so strong. It's just these very impactful, specific things that each strategy does that's the most important thing to remember. The rest of it is flexible. The rest of it is up to you, and that's why I don't want to get extremely specific, because you can kind of work with whatever site setup your team has. It's about being flexible and understanding the core things of the strategy that make the strategy good. So let's talk about this Melusi strategy on Bank and why it is so good at number 3. The thing about Melusi is what makes her good is she can control so much area without actively having to play it because of her wubs. So if you're playing Bank Basement and you want to pick Melusi, here's what you're going to do. You're going to hold server with 2 Melusis while having 2 other Melusis for other areas, because that's just what Melusi does. She just controls so much. What you're going to do is put one in garage. This is for if nobody in your team is playing garage, which happens a lot. You definitely want someone playing garage, but if they're not, you have the Melusi for if they push up, you're not getting snuck up on. So you're not getting snuck down the main stairs, you're not getting snuck up through garage. Hopefully your teammates are grabbing the hatches because you don't have a lot of time to set up with Melusi. And then you have like this default rotate or however your team wants to set it up, but you're gonna be holding server because a lot of people like to take server, they like to take square stairs. And you're just not going to let them do that because that's annoying and dumb, and screw those guys. So you're going to be putting a Melusi on dirt tunnel and one for the walk-in from blue. What this allows you to do is hold dirt early off the start of the round. If you reinforce these 2 walls, fantastic. And if they come dirt, you don't want to be holding this angle because they're not in the Melusi yet. You want to be holding this angle because that is when they are finally through the dirt entrance. The Melusi is going off, they are slowed, and it's a simple pre-fire onto them because they are so slow, and you're holding an off angle up on the desk already because they're probably aiming head level or crouch level for somebody holding like this angle or this very common angle or something like this. So standing up on the desk, your head is just way higher than it typically would be, and it allows you to get those kills fairly easily. Now, if you see that they're not coming dirt off the start, well, they're probably taking upstairs. This is a hatch that you definitely want to reinforce. And if they're taking upstairs, what that means is they're not coming dirt anymore, but if they decide to come dirt later, you still have the Melusi for information, and you can hold this angle onto the blue door. Now, I would recommend jiggling it so you're a harder target to hit, and just keeping your sights right where you can in that doorway entrance, because again, when they come around the corner, they're going to hit that Melusi, they're going to be slowed, and it's going to be a very easy kill for you and a harder kill for them because you're moving fast and they're moving slow. Then, if they don't do any of that and they just go for hatches, let's say, and main stairs, you can just stay in server. You can hold the site hatch drop from here, and you can retake back through your rotate later on, or you can just straight up come over here before they open the hatches and hold these areas if you know that there's a lot of pressure on the backside. So very, very good solo setup for a site that is so team reliant and so many different areas to come through. Melusi is your gal. She's a fantastic operator for SoloQ, and I really love using this setup personally. Number 2, we are on Chalet for a master bedroom office hold using Lesion. Again, a big fundamental part of these strategies is we are countering the default pushes. We are jabbing at teams who typically do the same thing. Teams that, you know, most of the time people are coming library side. Most people are clearing, trying to open this wall and take office. How do we counter that? Well, we do this Lesion setup. This is just a hard counter to people that try to do these pushes, and it starts off by putting a goo mine on the blue stairs. Now, we're going to be putting it on this platform because, again, when people are coming up staircases, they're looking up. They're not going to see it. They're going to hit it, and that gives you information that there's someone coming up blue. The biggest thing about the goo mines is you do need good audio, so if you aren't good at listening to audio cues, probably don't run this strategy because you do need to be able to hear for this one. So basically, you're putting a goo mine for the main stairs, for blue stairs, and now you know if they're trying to sneak up your staircases. You're going to make some head holes here and reinforce the wall. That way you can contest the library hop-in. However, there's really only one hop-in you can contest, and it's this one. If they hop in that window, you can pre-fire them off the sound, and they should die. If you have the extra goo mine, go ahead and put it under it. But your other goo mine, I'm gonna recommend doing this window first, because that's going to give you the audio cue if they hop in that window, that's the window they have hopped in, because that's the goo mine they can hit. And now you know they're in there, but you can't really do anything about it because you can't get the angle on it yet. So that way you can just kind of hold this passive angle, and then when they finally do push out, you can kill them, and you have a pretty nice angle to do it. Lastly is on this double window hop in. And then you're just kind of holding all of top fireplace. Now you have control of all of this area. However, there's one reason why this is so strong. If you know what it is, put it in the comments now, because I'm going to give you literally 2 seconds. I'm going to reveal. I'm literally going to tell you right now why it's not strong. And that is because you can shoot the hard breach off the wall from here. You can shoot the hard breach off of the wall from top fireplace. So if they don't come library side and they're only coming K9 door, you can shoot all the hard breach off the wall. They can't open the wall. They literally can't open the breach because of one guy playing here. You don't need a bandit trick. You don't need a cage. You don't need any of that stupid wall now. You can literally use your bullets to shoot it off or kill Thermite if he just goes for it. Ace, it's usually Ace. He's just going to throw his Ace charge. You can just shoot them off. It's very nice. And I just, you know, you can throw your bulletproof wherever. Again, it's just for information. It's great for piano. But you still have more goo mines. And what I would recommend putting goo mines for still, if you still have them and, you know, you're in the position to, is bathroom window hop-in, piano window hop-in, anything under a window where they can't shoot them ahead of time. Ivy window hop-in is going to be good if you're still playing over here. And a big thing about this strategy is you want to be on those default cams, seeing where they spawn, see if there's anything even coming to your library balcony, or if they're just coming like trophy side and big window. And if that's the case and there's nothing coming front door and they're on big window, you can use that shotgun, shoot down the front door, you know, hopefully you have ammo in it, and switch to your primary, all of a sudden back. You're shooting them off the front window before they even realize it, and you're good to go. So this is a very, very strong strategy. And Legion's a fantastic operator for SoloQ because of all that information he provides. Before we move into the #1 strategy though, you do have to also notice that none of these strategies actually rely on your teammates. They are all individual strategies that you can pull off by yourself to make big plays to win the round, and that is the key to solo queuing, is being able to be self-sufficient enough to do what it takes to win the round completely on your own, in order to not rely on your teammates and instead only rely on yourself. Start relying on yourself and stop relying on your teammates. That's how you win when you solo queue. And most importantly of all, stop making excuses for yourself. For the #1 solo queue strategy in the entire game, we have to bring out the #1 operator in the entire game, and that is Mute. This is a Nighthaven lab strategy for the top floor bomb site, where we're going to be using Mute to obliterate everyone, because Mute is the best. Essentially what we're doing with this strategy is holding the electrical and connector room from anyone trying to come across from the opposite side of the map, while providing our team with useful support from the Mute jammers. Now, the first Mute jammer, bang, right on the drone hole. Actually, we're going to put it beside this garbage can, because this is going to jam the drone hole, and if we do have to eventually give up this area, it'll also jam any drones trying to drive through here without them being able to shoot it. Second mute jammer is going to go on this doorway, but it's also going to grab part of the reinforcement. Now, there's a very important reason for this, and that is because your second one is going to go on this left side panel. These walls, you're going to want to reinforce both of them, and that way you're covering the entire area of this panel, which they cannot rappel on from the outside. Because they can't rappel on it, and you have two mute jammers, they're not able to thermite the far sides of the wall, where they would be able to if you have one in the middle. However, this achieves another purpose of holding this doorway for you from drones, so that way you can hide around it with a shotgun. So if they try to drone you, the drone's going to get jammed, then they're going to have to push up to actually shoot the mute jammer, and you're going to swing them and one pump them and essentially destroy them with this. Now, you can also open this wall, which allows you to hold that window hop in over there, with the SMG. Another thing I would recommend, however, it can make it a little more complicated, so you do have to be careful if you're doing this. And that's your first 3 mute jammers. Reinforce these walls. You can make it rotate here, or you can leave it shut. Completely up to you and your team if you want to reinforce it or make it rotate. Either one is a viable strategy. If that was enough mutes over here, you're going to put another one on the electrical door, which allows you to eventually fall off this area if you need to. If they, EMP or mute and you have to fall off, you can first fall off to this doorway. Let's say they get on this window and they're pinching you. You can kind of fight them back up to this doorway. And now when they finally eventually come through this room, you are there again with the shotgun, shotgunning the close range angle and absolutely blasting them. So, nasty hold, especially if you know they're coming across this way. Unfortunately, it doesn't cover anything from IT and warehouse and blue, so it's not as, circumferencing. It's not all-encompassing like some of the other strategies were, but it is very, very, very powerful if they're trying to push this way, and you will get 3Ks, 4Ks, aces, 2Ks. You will literally destroy everyone who tries to push this way. So, fantastic strategy, and I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for 300,000 subscribers, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, boys.